Trump voters are pissed at Donald Trump, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and this whole MAGA circus. They're saying this is not what we voted for. You think? I think this is what you voted for. Now the leopards are eating your faces. So you got people saying things like this, quote, "This is not what we voted for, Marjorie." Also, they're saying Canada doesn't want to trade its universal health care for your gun crime. I supported Trump, but this is becoming too much. Why are you doing this? Where are the lower prices we were promised? We were promised the prices would be much, much lower on day one. More lies. No wonder people are regretting their votes for this con. Focus on the shit you said you would do first. This is what people voted for. Stop with the games already. America is not a game and you need to do shit. Marjorie Taylor Greene's like, well, look. The young women making millions on OnlyFans might be making money, but they're destroying themselves and destroying the value of women. They're posting porn in their locations, begging men to come have sex with them so they can video it live and make more money. This is completely repulsive and sick. That's what your focus, like that's their focus right now. It's either that or a transgender volleyball player from San Jose State. Nothing about what they actually promised the American people. As Carlos Turnbull says, why is Marjorie Taylor Greene spending her time watching porn instead of working on a plan to reduce the prices of eggs? We're hearing stories about this throughout the nation. Like this story from Raw Story. I don't think anyone voted for that. Trump's own fans bracing for catastrophic cuts. This is out of Kentucky. Tom Gabriel, the superintendent of Bell County, Kentucky schools. He joined most of his neighbors and voted for Donald Trump, but he's out there telling CNN and other outlets that Trump's about to screw him because if Trump carries out his plan to cut federal education funding, Tom's school is going to be utterly destroyed, and educators and families in all of these areas where Donald Trump's America First seemed to resonate, they're now saying these cuts are going to be catastrophic. This is what Tom said, quote, I don't think that anyone in our country wants to cut our school funding, Gabriel said. I don't think that anyone voted for that. Oh, well, let me just go and pull this up there, Tommy boy. Let me pull this up because here's what Donald Trump said. I have him at various speeches saying he will eliminate the Department of Education. Here it is in Wisconsin. Here he is with Elon Musk during the campaign saying he wants to eliminate the Department of Education. Here he is in Washington, D.C. Quote, I will shut down the federal Department of Education. Here's another speech. I'm going to get rid of the Department of Education, he says, and I want to make sure everyone speaks English. Here's Donald Trump in Iowa. We will break up the Department of Education soon. That will be done quickly. I was ready to get it done. Then we had a bad election. All of his surrogates have always been saying that they want to get rid of the Department of Education, get rid of federal funding for education. That's apparently too woke there, Tommy boy, too woke for you. You need the funds right now. It's okay. According to Donald Trump and Elon Musk, they love the poorly educated. But look, Elon Musk, Trump, they'll get those jobs from India, right? That's what Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk said. They said, hey, Americans are too dumb. American culture is awful and produce stupid people. And so therefore we need a robust H-1B visa program because Americans are too stupid. That's what Elon, Donald Trump, and Vivek Ramaswamy said. I mean, it's almost a direct quote from Ramaswamy. And that's why they want to support the H-1B visa program that Donald Trump said he was going to eliminate. Look, Tommy boy, you may believe that we have enough STEM related jobs here or educated people to do those jobs, but not Trump. And by the way, the future generations, they're not interested in educating it. They want to keep people poorly educated. Why? Because when they're poorly educated, they're more likely to vote for Donald Trump. So Tommy Boy says that the proposed cuts would be catastrophic, forcing teacher layoffs, packing more students into classrooms, and getting less attention for vulnerable students. This article goes on to say how a CNN analysis found that all 15 of the states that rely most heavily on federal support for public schools in 2022, They backed Trump in November, while all but 2 of the 15 that received the fewest federal dollars as a percentage for their overall revenues supported Kamala Harris. Isn't it funny? I mean, it's not funny because you ended up electing Donald Trump, that because you're so poorly educated, you ended up voting for Donald Trump, who's going to keep you more poorly educated rather than achieve your ultimate goals. Quote, this is one of these cases where Republican policies are stabbing their base right in the heart and will directly impact their kids, said Will Raglan, vice president for the Center of American Progress. Which one of these policies is not going to do that? You think the tax cuts for the billionaires are helping the MAGA base? Really? We think, what do we think? That the tariffs are going to help the MAGA base? You think the MAGA base is really going to benefit from starting wars with Canada or Greenland and Denmark and Panama? Or you think that their kids are the ones who are likely going to fight and die in those wars? I mean, tell me about the policies again that are going to be benefiting MAGA. They're going to benefit from the dismantling of the Affordable Care Act, the revocation of Medicare, Medicaid. They're going to benefit from all of that, taking away veterans benefits, removing Social Security, food stamps. I mean, most red state people are availing themselves of those programs. But then when they talk about those programs publicly, despite relying on them, they go communism, Marxism. It's ridiculous. It goes on to say, Trump hasn't shared many details of his proposals, although he has spoken in support of shutting down the Department of Education. Quote, you notice a trend here. A lot of these proposals are impacting the most vulnerable students. Senior Director of Education Policy for CAP says this is really just a pattern of making things worse for those who are already at the margins, and that's concerning. The Project 2025 blueprint for Republican governance calls for expanding school choice and turning federal school funding, such as Title I and programs that support students with disabilities, into no-strings-attached block grants to states, which experts say would redirect funding away from marginalized communities. Quote, if we start putting public money in private schools, they become public schools. I just don't think that taxpayer money should be distributed to private schools. Say that again? You don't think that? I mean, what do you think the entire charter school movement is that's supported by these MAGA Republicans? They're setting that aside. What do you think the movement about vouchers are? They want to take the public money and they want to give it to kind of for-profit corporations that are running a bunch of these schools versus using the taxpayer dollars to improve the public schools. That's kind of what they're happening. And then they want to have school prayer and basically, teach whatever they want to teach religion-wise in those schools. So yes, the leopards are absolutely eating your face. And I mean, folks, it gets worse. You go to St. Cloud, Minnesota, and as you see what's going on in St. Cloud. Same story here. Donald Trump throws an 8,000 person rally. He owes the city $209,000. He's not paying it. Despite bringing together 8,000 Trump supporters there. Ultimately, that's going to get passed through to the taxpayers there. The St. Cloud mayor-elect, Jake Anderson, said there's not much more the city can do to compel Trump's presidential campaign to pay a $209,000 bill from a summer rally. We're kind of limited on our resources. Being candid, one of the fears that I have is if we push too aggressively on Trump, suddenly any federal aid we may get and other things may start falling apart. I'm only saying that on a good hunch, since Trump wasn't in office at the time of July 27th campaign rally at Herb Brooks, whatever. It was not considered an elected official visit. I know there are citizens who have asked about it. I've been asked about it. Andrew said about the unpaid Trump bill. I understand the frustration. There was a certain cost the city spent. Obviously, those people came to town. There was a number of them and they spent money on our community. So it's not like we didn't recoup the cost. More than 8,000 people attended the rally at Herb Brooks National Hockey Center on the campus of St. Cloud University. According to the invoice, the rally cost the city nearly $209,000 in services, including police, public services, and road construction change. And the Trump campaign's response to, it's not just St. Cloud. I did a whole other story on all these other areas that Trump owes money to. Trump's response is actually it's the Secret Service that owes the money, which the Secret Service is like, what in the world are you talking about? And again, the campaign still has tens of millions of dollars, but they're just simply choosing not to pay these cities that hosted their events. So you take a look at all of the situation here. It's definitely a moment of leopards eating their faces. No wonder Donald Trump's approval rating going into the inauguration is in the dumps. The most recent AP poll shows his favorability is only 41%, one of the lowest ever pre-inauguration. Usually it's a honeymoon phase before the inauguration. Not with Donald Trump, and I think when he enacts all of his executive orders on day one, which we're going to keep up with here, it's going to go much, much lower, but we'll keep you posted every step of the way here on the MeidasTouch Network. Don't you worry. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch and help us blow past 500,000 followers.